There was a commotion just beyond the princess's bedroom, which made those under her bed squirm their way back from underneath to see what was to do. The other 3 Damon tiger handmaidens had arrived, and they were growling and snarling at the apartment doors because a chopping noise had started outside. "Quick, quick," squawked the cockatoo. "Perform your magic." Without further ado, Carawetta and the Dogon tigress touched paws, along with the Japanese and Taoist tigers. Then they roared, and instantly 4 shower-capped and ballet slipper-shod Carinas appeared, which ran off and dived out the window. Meanwhile, the princess groaned and grabbed her groin. A cold, hard object had taken up residence inside her. "Don't worry," cooed the cockatoo. "As soon as your body heat warms the cinnabar, it will become quite comfortable and you'll forget it's even there." Diggerweena's squawked announcement caused all the chopping at the briar hedge to stop. The 3 newly arrived tiger handmaidens were first to rouse themselves from the shock at what had just occurred, and were most eager to know what had been going on. When they found out, they cried out in anguish, declaring they would have provided a much better solution to the princess's problem. "Well, you 3 are too late. Where the hell have you been, anyway?" demanded the princess, now quite beside herself. "We have been protecting our brothers and sisters in the forest," the 3 replied. "Some misguided young monk has spread it about that tigers have charismatic sexual power in their bones and in their beautiful hides. He has begun hunting and killing tigers. Of course, the only tiger bones and skins that do have magical powers belong to us 7 daemons, who by definition cannot be killed by any mortal human. All other tigers are just natural wild creatures, very charismatic, I grant you, but not in any way possessed of special magic in their bodies." "Who is this meddling young monk?" snapped the princess. The largest tigress of the newly arrived 3 was a Marquesian from Polynesia, who had given her vagina a magical name, Heni Nui Tepo, and she lay down with her front paws outstretched to look directly into the eyes of the princess. "Can't you guess? Would it be my cousin?" This was a rhetorical question, so no one said anything. "Where could he have got such ideas?" lamented the princess. "I told you before," said Basmati, the Dogon tigress from Mali. "The jackal is behind such evil." At this, the white cockatoo's feathers puffed up, and swelling more and more, she blushed bright pink. Now, when the 4 shower-capped Carinas did a parachute jump out of the palace window, they landed safely and scuttled off, on point, into the forest. But this somewhat unusual event was witnessed by the first prince, who was waiting by his charger in the palace courtyard below. Since the horrible sight of the murdered present, the prince had decided to give up on marrying the princess as a bad job, and he'd come to take his leave of the king. He had heard, but dismissed, the bizarre rumours whispered around the palace precincts. But now, after observing this strange occurrence, he was intrigued. This first prince was called George. He was a Knight of the Garter, and as such his motto was Honneur soit qui mal y pense, which means shame on you if you see evil in this. George was knighted in a chapel inside a castle owned by the Queen of England, and St George's Chapel is covered with symbols representing female genitalia, which is referenced by the motto. As part of George's knightly duties, he'd been trained to fight huge worms in Wales called dragons. George thought he might, after all, put this skill to some use, and he set off into the forest in pursuit of the 4 dancing showercaps. 5 of the Damon tiger handmaidens flew out of the palace window to accompany the princess's Carina and its 3 copies. The last 2 tigresses, Phomea from the Tuamotus island and a tigress with a Sanskrit name, Viagra, whom the princess called Vanilla Viagra, they remained with the princess, while below, in the palace grounds, Prince George cantered after the 4 shower caps on legs, who soon disappeared in the undergrowth. Then he caught sight of the cockatoo overhead and figured all he had to do was to keep that squawky pink bird in view. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my story. The 4 Carina comes in 7 parts. So if you'd like to know what happens next, please subscribe or get a notification. I post once a week. And so until then, bye for now.